What is up, everyone? My name is Radar. I'm here with Titus, and we are about to start top 6 of the Gallant Melee Open. I know everyone's been enjoying the broadcast so far, and I'm super excited to see. We got Aklo versus Ben, which I know Titus was just saying prior to the stream starting that he has been very closely following kind of the online weeklies, especially. And these two players are kind of so well known for that kind of grinding sort of style.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. I mean, they're in there day in, day out. Every time there's a net play tourney, you see folks like Ben, see folks like Aklo going hard, man. And that gap between the top players has been, I'd say it's closing a little bit. If you see recent results, you got people like Salt taking sets off IBDW and folks like that. So I'm just excited for this next era of Melee and seeing how these net play grinders are going to shake things up.
No, absolutely. I think it's we're in like an interesting space, again, referencing some of the stuff we were talking about earlier. But it looks like we are actually about to hop into a game potentially, maybe not so soon. Might have just spoken a little too early, but yeah, we're talking a bit about like where kind of the scene is at in terms of like emerging players, emerging narratives, like what, obviously the Five Gods era long over, but kind of where are we at now? Like where are people like Aklo, aka Guy Farting, where how are they kind of building up new names and what do we call that,
For sure. I think there's been a lot of people who, in terms of the legitimacy of online and online weeklies and things like that, a lot of people, look down on it, didn't enter as much, or perhaps didn't enter for other reasons, protecting current seating and things like that. But it looks like we're off
game.
The races. Aklo's coming in hot.
Yeah, no, already off to kind of an interesting start. It is always a sort of pleasure to see this widescreen melee, but gets the CC on the up tilt, and this could be a stock, but doesn't end up converting on that situation. Still a lot of damage from Aklo, and once again, this is a really important edgeguard opportunity.
Absolutely. Big shine coming off from Aklo. Will we follow it up? Okay. Now, what are some big things we want to look out for in terms of the Fox Sheik matchup, Radar? I think you would definitely be the one.
No, you were saying like, are you asking me?
Yeah, asking you for sure.
Yeah, so like I think generally speaking in this matchup, one of the things, like in my opinion, this is like quite a Fox favorite matchup. One of the things that does kind of settle it is what we're seeing now, which is that tech chase game. If you're able to convert on that tech chase, like theoretically, there's not a ton that the opponent can do. Obviously, there are a lot of kind of high level defensive options like Slight DI. But at the end of the day, like if a Sheik is just cracked at tech chasing, that's going to matter a lot. But on the flip side, like, if they're not able to convert that heavily, Fox has such a strong edgeguard game on Sheik. He has such a strong neutral game. Crouch cancel is so difficult to deal with. All these things make Sheik's life really difficult.
Wow, Aklo is going in right now with a 2-stock lead, just moving like lightning, bro. Lightning McQueen right now, Aklo. Big up throw in there.
I think a thing that's also really important to consider whenever you're watching Aklo play Sheik is his brother is a Sheik main. He regularly plays against Sheik. This is like one of his best matchups, and we're seeing proof of that. He is potentially going to 4-stock him.
Absolutely. It's looking like it's in the cards. Aklo about to pour a 4 on Ben right now with a big 4-stock in the cards. Big punish. Oh, Ben off stage.
Oh my gosh, and actually goes for the edge. Oh, that is not what he wanted.
Yeah, definitely a misinput on the up B. I mean, I think, Tech is, no 4-stock for Aklo today. But I think Tech is advancing in quite a way, but I don't think that up B is, on purpose.
I mean, still gets the JV4. Very solid first game from Aklo. And, in terms of counter picks, where do you think we're going to be going to next?
I mean, if I'm Ben, I mean, just the way down smash covers the interesting heights of the platform, I mean, and kind of cuts Fox's room to move around a lot. I mean, I think Fountain's a good choice for sure. Maybe even Yoshi's, because I think when Fox has just so much room to move around, like on Dreamland there that we just saw, it's tough to track him. Mega once said you can't really chase Fox.
That honestly is completely true. Not surprised to see Battlefield here. I think that's another kind of similar pick to Fountain. But I totally get what you mean about Fountain as a stage choice. I think like Aklo in particular, I would say is a pretty like platform heavy player, especially in the kind of floatier matchups. We've seen him play against players like Hungrybox, and he kind of just like really heavily relies on that top platform. And I think, with Fox being as fast as he is and able to kind of control the pace of the game, being able to be defensive. Look at these back airs.
Oh, such just the bait. Yeah. Absolutely. Nice movement, just great baits, mind games. Aklo's really looking very strong right now. Definitely probably the favorite, perhaps, even to take the whole thing as far as we're looking at the bracket right now.
I think that is not an unreasonable take at all. He is such a capable player, and like I would say quite strongly he still has a lot to prove. I think one of the things, like I referenced the whole guy farting thing, and like obviously ridiculous tag, of course, but for those who aren't aware, he was kind of smurfing as that tag for a while. Yeah. And one of the things that people mentioned about it was that his play style was like really, really different. Like it was really, really aggressive. Yeah. He played kind of like this like crazy aggro style that people weren't used to seeing. Made it hard to figure out who it was. And yet, he's not known for that, right? So like it shows the kind of depth to his play.
Yeah, I remember folks were saying that it could be Cyrox, it could be Crush, and just when it was revealed that it was Aklo, I mean, I know I was surprised. And Aklo, especially, some folks will say, I've heard talk of, he's dash dances a lot and things like that. But he also brings a height too, and not afraid to taunt on folks. Even Hungry Box, he'll taunt on you.
Yeah, not afraid to taunt is an understatement of the week. He is
across the stage. Sorry.
No worries. Yeah, he is really big fan of taunting, sometimes to a fault, but I think it also is, a huge part of like what kind of gets him hyped, and that should be the stock there with the F-tilt. Pretty even game, much better than the JV4 that we saw earlier.
Yeah, definitely a lot closer within percent there. Right here, it's just 2 stocks apiece. Aklo the punish, he's gonna follow it up.
Ooh, the SDI on the drill actually gets him out of that and able to get his shield up in time. Really, really good stuff from Ben there.
Yeah, Aklo looking very clean right now, hitting all his tech skill. Ooh, a little moonwalk to ledge. Looking cute, too, with it. I like that.
Yeah, really taking advantage of the way Fox kind of controls his momentum. But, we've been talking so much about Aklo, and Aklo, obviously a very impressive player, but the adaptations that we're seeing from Ben are, huge. Like, he is taking the lead. He's been able to convert off of his punishes, often through reads. Like, he's been going for a lot of reads on up smash. And this could be the stock. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like he has kind of him downloaded to some degree.
And I think it says a lot about his mental game that after that, high percentage 3 stock, the first game, that we're seeing him really come back, and now he's actually got a lead. Takes the game there with a 2 stock on Aklo. Now we're at 1-1 in winners here. Looking very good, looking exciting, man. I'm enjoying these games so far.
Titus, I think that's actually such a good point about the mental game. Is like it's so easy when you watch a game like that to kind of forget the previous game. But when you're the player, like you don't forget that you just got almost 4 stocked. You don't forget that the game was super one-sided. And the fact that he's able to just go, I don't really care. I know I can take games from him. I know I can beat him, and like follow through on that is why he's in top 6 right now.
Absolutely. Like the players of these caliber, like you don't get to be consistently in these, top 8s, top 6s without being, capable on that level, especially mentally to, make it through these game 5 sets and make reverse 3-0s happen, which both these players do all the time.
No, for sure. And, I've seen Ben go for that read in the tech in place off of the tech chase. And I'm wondering if Aklo is going to start to mix that up. That's a really, really common kind of expectation from Sheik players, just because tech in place is kind of Fox's like strongest option, quote unquote, because of tech in place shine.
Yeah,
exactly. So I wonder if he's going to sort of mix that up, or if he's going to continue to capitalize on it.
I think as far as the tech chase goes, like going for the tech in place, like right off the bat, I think it's a good place to start and kind of gather data from there, right? Because I just feel like it's more high percentage than going for the roll right off the bat.
It's kind of like the equivalent of, how like when you play, okay, I don't know about you, but when I play like rock, paper, scissors, there's some strange appeal to rock, like it feels like the best option. And with tech in place, like obviously it's not a perfect one-to-one comparison, but it kind of feels like the rock of rock, paper, scissors.
Absolutely. You know what it is? When I play Captain Falcons on unranked, I feel like a lot of them just kind of live off punishing tech in place, right? So it's kind of like almost the laziest option, even though if it's really good. And it's the same thing with rock, paper, scissors. You don't even got to move your hand to do rock.
Yeah, like it just feels good, and tech in place shine feels good for the Fox player, not so great for everyone else, and it's just sort of like the default. So it's funny that like people talk about high level melee, and there is so much to talk about. It is very deep. There's like a lot going on that both players are adapting to, but at the same time, there's some stuff that people like have the little rules in their head of how they want to start things off, and one of those rules is like let's see how often they tech in place.
Absolutely. And look we have another 2-stock game, Big Galink Gaming on the big screen. Look, Mama, we made it. We're on the big screen.
Speaking of made it, this up air read is getting him so much mileage. Already still in the corner. This is going to be very, very rough.
This is shaping to be a close set. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a game 5 here. And as a Melee fan, I think that's what I want to see.
Yeah, absolutely. I think in general, like we talked about these two kind of being sort of net play legends, and I feel like there's something exciting about, like, you know, when you watch like Mango versus Mewtwo King or something, you think like this is like a classic set. I feel like in the net play era, like an Aklo versus Ben, Aklo kind of versus anybody is sort of like a, yes, this is what I'm used to. Bobby Big Ball is another example of like just stuff you kind of like the bread and butter of the online scene. Ooh, that grab release.
Yeah, again, both these players entering these online weeklies, I mean, as often as they are there, I mean, they're really putting their lives into it, and it shows a lot of passion. And it looks like we're in a tech chase situation here. Ben is, you know, his reaction tech chase game very, very strong.
You know, I said this at the beginning that like if you can make those reaction tech chases work, you're going to get so much mileage. And right now, Ben is looking really good, but this is the opening that Aklo needs. This edge guard is so important. How does he get off the ledge?
Up smash almost connecting there, which that would be very close to ending the game.
That's going to do it, though.
Ooh.
Really good coverage.
After that rough game 1, Ben bringing it back, and now the set's looking like a 2-1, 21-21. We're in the building, allegedly. I'm so excited to see how this is going to end up, Radar. I mean, where do you think stage-wise we're going next?
I mean, the classic pick is often FD, but we already were just on a counter pick from Aklo, and we didn't go there. You know, I mentioned earlier that like Aklo does like to kind of abuse platforms as a player. So it's hard to say. Like, I do wonder. I really think that FD is a good pick against Sheik. I think it really, really limits what she's able to do. But so far, we haven't seen that. So I could see us just going back to Pokemon Stadium.
Yeah, and the thing is like, as far as comfort picks versus the standard or quote unquote best, right? I mean, look at Hungrybox, right? Jigglypuff is supposed to be amazing on Fountain of Dreams, but he often opts for Battlefield over that.
Yeah, you know, Jigs has like a weirdly good matchup spread in a lot of a lot of Battlefield matchups. Weirdly enough, as someone who used to play Jigs, like she's like low key good. It's kind of like Sheik. Like Battlefield always talked about it as this like very, very neutral stage. Not surprised to see us go back to Pokemon. Battlefield is like, it's like weirdly good for Sheik. I don't know why. Like I can't really totally articulate why, but it just feels good as a Sheik player.
I can see that for sure. Ooh, big double shine on the edge. Ben making it back. Ooh, Ben's spending a lot at the beginning of this game off stage.
Yeah, this is what I was saying earlier. Just like the edgeguard game from Fox is so strong. And while Sheik has like a really good edgeguard game, obviously on Fox, it's more like she's good at covering his many options, whereas Sheik just doesn't have that many options. And so Fox can cover them pretty effectively. But look at this punish game from Aklo so far. Could get a follow-up here. Yep, does get it. That
little dash back before he comes back for the up smash. Really sealing the deal and waiting out the spot dodge coming up from Ben, securing the stock.
No, absolutely. This is so close. This is not as close as I thought it would be. Like I spoke earlier about Aklo's Sheik experience. This is a matchup he's very, very comfortable in. And yet, like, we are seeing a much more even game. Ben poised to take it, even though this is close. Like, it feels like the momentum is still kind of in his favor, but just as I say that, Aklo answers back.
There he goes. Star KO, flying in the distance. Team Rocket blasting off for Sheik.
Yeah, and once again, in that edgeguard situation, trying to cover tech in place, but I feel like Ben has been really good.
Ben whiffing a couple things there. Whiffing a grab and then the dash tag missing in the corner. Not looking so good. Down a stock as well.
But, you know, he has been sort of calm and collected where it counts. Like just now we saw him recover there, had a lot of time to kind of prepare for the shine that was coming. And in doing so, he SDI'd it. He made sure that Aklo couldn't follow up. And some of that is why this has been so close. But, you know, the closeness is getting away from him. This is looking a lot more like game one.
Definitely. Back row. Dancing a little bit. Fox doing 360s with the drill. Up throw. Oh, I want to see where the punish takes us. It's off stage. Ooh, coming back on stage with the fair.
Already 80% is a lot. Like that is going to do it with the stock, but this is the kind of thing where like you can camp out a bit, do some full hop back airs like we just saw,
Yeah.
get some lasers on Sheik and doesn't even need them. We're going to
Sometimes you
game
just
5.
sometimes you just hold on to the ledge. And as a fan of Melee, I love Melee. I love to love it as loudly and publicly as possible. And I love me a game 5 scenario. And that's what we have for you today, folks, between Ben and Aklo, two net play grinders meeting now, game 5. Here we go.
Yeah, I
Momentarily.
do think we're going to see. So okay, let's just recount what we saw. We saw Dreamland for the first game. What was the
Mhm.
second game?
I believe it was
Battlefield.
Battlefield.
So Battlefield, he won, and then we got Pokemon Stadium where Ben won, and
Yeah,
then we had
Pokemon.
Pokemon Stadium again where Aklo
Mhm.
won. So obviously not going to see
Ben's pick.
Stadium.
I think
Yeah,
I think Fountain. I mean, I just the way Sheik's down smash it works, like just the hitbox on that, just having those weird platform heights. There it is.
yep, makes sense. Definitely, yeah. There's a lot kind of I think working for Sheik on this stage. I mentioned already that Battlefield is kind of like a good comfort pick. This is sort
Mhm.
of like wacky Battlefield, like
Yeah.
there's definitely some noticeable changes, but I think some of those changes work out in Sheik's favor. Like the slightly higher ceilings, the
Feeling, yeah.
vertical distance is horizontal distance on the edges is very small, so forward air can be really really strong. Just pretty solid stage for Sheik overall.
Mhm. And just was that SDI? It looked like a little SDI on the up air.
Yeah,
Not good
definitely
by that second
SDI.
hit. Definitely clean coming out from Ben there. His defensive game is a little underrated, I think. Ooh, getting clipped with the up smash though. That's definitely gonna do it.
I would go as far as to say that defense in general is kind of underrated in Melee. Like if I were to say the things that have changed the most in the meta, I feel like a lot of it is the way people play defensively. Like we've seen so many examples of SDI throughout this set. We've seen so many examples of like slide offs, ASDI
Yeah.
teching down, like these things that make it just way, way, way harder to combo people. And in spite of that, like we still see so many combos.
Absolutely. The players, defensive games growing, punish games growing.
Ooh, oh, okay,
That
that's not what you wanted.
forward smash is missing in the corner there. Ooh, a couple up tilts. Not afraid to do it again. He said, "I'll do it again."
Yeah, exactly. Like absolute madman. He's like, yeah, you'll see it once more. And now him answering with an up tilt of his own. Sometimes a move is good, and if it ain't broke, keep going.
Absolutely. And the reflective stage on the bottom, I hope whoever wins this set is going to be able to look in that reflective stage and be happy with themselves. And I hope the loser can be as well. You know what I mean? You got to be able to look at yourself in the mirror for this.
That's funny, man. Yeah, like that's shout outs to Vancity Primal for I think all the kind of stages. Of course, we're running the anime stuff right now. That's why the characters look a little bit different. But Ben with a pretty solid lead right now. Even able to survive that up smash kind of against all odds. And
Yeah,
Aklo having a hard time.
Ooh, Aklo cleaning it up there, cleaning it up, bringing in the cleaning squad, getting that stock. And it looks like, Ben's got a one stock lead, but sometimes I say, one stock isn't always a lead in Melee, as stocks can be deleted so fast.
Yeah, especially, Fox, like such a confident and fast character, able to convert off of so many different openings. At this percent in particular, he is going to be looking for things like grab, drill to deal with crouch cancel, but he doesn't get that opportunity because Ben is about to close it out. Look at that.
That was so interesting how the platform hype played into that. And wow, Ben closing up the game 5 situation. Very, very clean stuff.
Yeah, that was really impressive. I don't think most of the chat was thinking that we would see a 3-2 from Ben. I was kind of expecting like 3-1 Aklo. Ben, very capable player, but Aklo, a player who's just sort of been on a bit of a hot streak. But Ben, really proving himself in that situation. And I'm kind of excited to see where he goes from here.
Awesome. Again, I'm very. I've watched Ben very closely. Again, over these last months, maybe year, since Slippy and quarantine these online weeklies, and he literally enters like every day he can, and he's one of the hardest working players out there. And Ben's somebody I love to see win.
Yeah, no, I think he's a player that just he has a long kind of road ahead of him and career ahead of him. I feel like, a couple of years ago wasn't super well known. Now he's becoming like a familiar face even late into tournaments. And I just can so clearly imagine a world like 2 years from now where it's like, yeah, Ben upsetting some of the greatest players, that's not an upset. It's just what we expect from him. So really impressed and happy to see him succeed.
Absolutely. That was an amazing set. Again, shout out to Galint Gaming. We're at the Galint Melee Open Spring Edition. Spring is here, folks. It's getting hot outside. I be sweating sometimes in my room now. I got to open the window. And, sometimes I got my hat on. And you know what hat I saw that looked really nice in the Galint Melee Open merch store, which you guys can go hit !merch in the chat. Check out the stuff in there because, like, if you want to get fresh, that's a great place to start.